Everybody, today we're going to talk about Chapter 5, Social Media Platforms and Social Networking Sites. So social networking platforms. So again, as we've talked about before, social networking is based on word of mouth marketing. And in our case, it's going to be electronic word of mouth marketing, which is the same thing that we've always talked about with Amazon reviews or social networking sites, likes, tweets. All of that falls under perception around word of mouth marketing. Some of the most popular social networking platforms would be Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, WordPress, Amazon, YouTube, blogs, Pinterest, Instagram. Some of the more lesser known would be some of your group buying sites, as well as social bookmarking, such as Dig or Reddit, as well as location-based services, which the most popular one of that would probably be Foursquare and Yelp. So in 2000, they saw an explosive growth of social networks, again, Facebook, LinkedIn. But before we get into that, let me tell you what a social networking site, the definition of that is. A social networking site is an online service on which members can establish relationships based on friendship, kinship, shared interests, business advantage, or other reasons. And then a virtual community focuses on building relationships using discussion boards to converse about a topic or shared interest. So again, people can build public or private profiles, specify who to connect with. It really simplifies the process of sharing information. So social media users are fickle. So top networking sites have changed with many generations. And for some of that is because, again, social networks are the evolution of the internet, right? So discussion boards started off, and it's built into more of a discussion of instantaneous discussion between users. So technology has allowed us to find individuals with the same interests and backgrounds. Social networks are primarily organized around people rather than interests, and the majority of people join to connect and to keep in touch with people rather than joining in on a discussion. So a brief history on social networking sites. So the first to come out was in 1997, which was 6degrees.com, which was based on the theory, the sixth degree of separation. So it could not secure advertising or funding, although it did have 1 million users. In 2001, Rise.com launched, and this was one of the first subscribers became entrepreneurs and the investors behind Friendster, LinkedIn, okay, some of your bigger pieces. In 2003, MySpace launched, and MySpace was really your first large commercialized, um, the most popular social networking site at the time. And again, this was developed from Friendster using the most popular features. It was purchased in 2005 by News Corp for $580 million. In 2007, MySpace was valued at over $12 billion. But in 2004, the Facebook was was founded by Mark Zuckerberg. So the Facebook was exclusive to only harvard.edu email addresses, spread to most of all US universities and colleges. And actually, in 2005, they purchased the Facebook domain. So rather than the Facebook, it was just facebook.com for $200,000. So open access to Facebook eventually in 2008, and Facebook overtook MySpace in traffic. And as of today, it's got 700 million active monthly users. In fact, now it's got almost close to 900 million users. Obviously, a very, very high valuation. And then again, this table 5.1 just shows the estimated unique monthly visitors per month on each of these social platforms, with Facebook and Twitter taking the lion's share. So a brief history. So with regards to the global perspective of again, social networks, in the US, we always think of Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. With India and Brazil, it's actually Google's Orkut. China, QQ or RenRen, and then the UK is Baby. VK dominates Russia. Um, so really the biggest takeaway from this is that marketers must understand multiple networks to really have that global presence. And again, figure 5.1 really just shows the timetable of from 6 degrees to where we're at now with faces.com, Renren in China, Elo, which was launched in 2014, also shows Facebook launching in 2004. So you can look at this timetable and see the different social media platforms that have launched throughout the years. So the benefits of marketing with social media. So the consequence of social media, of I guess online networks, is blurring the line between business and personal. So not only is it politicians and celebrities that have to be careful about their quote unquote image, but now all of our personal information, just general users' personal information, can be found on the internet as well. So again, job seekers, college students, college graduates, adults, children, whatever it might be, you need to be very cognizant about what is being posted on social networks. So some of the advantage of marketing with social networks. Number one, finding talent. So job search portals, professional networking. Again, LinkedIn. Number two, building brand awareness. So more portals to build brand and seek clients and customers to create that loyalty. Number three, helping find new customers. So again, this really seek clients and customers, but you can do that through there's um, different ways to do it on LinkedIn or Facebook to actually find customers or find um, prospective individuals that would be interested in a product or service, and then help conduct brand intelligence. So this refers to actually collecting information about customers. Usually requires costly market research. Monitoring social media can garner general sentiments, opinions, customer needs, all of which can be used to help create that market research. And one of the best marketing with social networks actually comes from the customer fan base, not really the firm. So example of this would be actually the Coca-Cola page. So the Coca-Cola page was started by two individuals, and they attributed the success to this from actually a high definition picture of a Coke can. So Coca-Cola never actually had a Facebook page. So these two individuals actually started their own Coca-Cola page because they liked the product, and they put a high definition picture of a Coke can. Well, people actually thought that that was because of the quality of that image. They thought that that was the official Coca-Cola brand page. Therefore, millions of people started to like that page. And eventually, Coke partnered with the individuals to actually administer the page. So Coke purchased the Facebook page from them, but allowed those two individuals to continue to run the page. So when selecting a social media platform, marketers should consider the characteristics of the target audience, as we've talked about before. So social networks allow a brand to engage a target audience in an ongoing conversation. So again, drawing new business, increasing customer loyalty. So understanding what that target audience is about, like we discussed in, I believe, chapter 3. And then again, some brands fear social networking, all right, due to the fact that they feel it's one, unprofessional, and two, that it invites negative comments. Well, instead of controlling what people say, they should provide a vote to the they should provide a vote to the conversation and their trust, so they can use the space to respond to criticism and provide feedback, therefore increasing their authenticity within that page and with their customer base. So again, these are some of your most they call this the Facebook page leaderboard. So this is again sorted by fans on. Again, you can look through here with who has the most fans, the most Twitter followers, and then a cumulative total. So really outside of the Facebook specific pages, Ronaldo, who's a soccer star, so he's kind of your number one. Shakira, Eminem, Vin Diesel, Rihanna, Lionel Messi, again a soccer star, Michael Jackson, Bob Marley, Will Smith, Justin Bieber. So you can look through this to see again who are the most popular pages. And again, 5.3 is this is again that the fan page that was created by again two individuals who really like Coke. Coke then eventually took over the page, but again, you can see how clean it is. So again, marketing on social networks. So a firm must decide on not only their goals and objectives, but they need to understand where their audience is. So is it going to be a business to business audience, or is it going to be a business to consumer? So again, business to business is going to focus more on LinkedIn, whereas business to consumer is going to be more focused on Facebook. So business to consumer The end goal is to share content that makes the audience want to discuss it further with friends. So this functions as word of mouth advertising, as audience share likes with each other, but they must be persistent, consistent, and have genuine intentions. So again, we're creating share-worthy content. Excuse me. News feeds is viral by nature, so keeping comments short, informative, and/or entertaining. So again, employing a consistent brand throughout your social media network helps keep things visible, as well as having a large number of likes or fans is a great step, but it does not guarantee success if no one engages or responds to it. So again, photos, image sharing, things like that are going to keep people very engaged. So avoiding the problem by focusing on relationships. Facebook is about personal connections, so showing personality, having the photos, giving a human voice to the brand or the organization is one of the most powerful advantages Facebook has, especially to its millions of users. So some other pieces to this would be, again, just setting up an account. So creating a page that represents the business, updating it. So again, quality, not quantity. So relevant and engaging, keeping a personality. So we want to give our consumers and our users a behind the scenes look at a business, as well as things that they cannot see maybe on a corporate website. And again, the groups are useful, but on Facebook, the groups functionality presents a problem. So mass messaging may be blocked, and then niche marketers and small firms might consider the groups. So consider Facebook pages, which places which allows users to check in. Again, this goes back to that location marketing, the Foursquare, the Yelp. So again, this helps create more of that advantage to know where are your consumers visiting, what are your consumers' interests, behaviors. And again, if we jump over now to business marketing, or excuse me, business to business marketing, according to research, almost 81% of businesses marketers use LinkedIn. So again, the professional focus of LinkedIn caused many to take connecting, caused many to take connecting with individuals more seriously than other platforms such as Facebook. So LinkedIn is targeted towards individuals, but it can also be a resource for businesses as well. So specifically, very useful for professional networking of individuals. LinkedIn has the capability to reach millions of indirect connections and has the ability to market products and ideas. So it's not as friendly towards marketing products and services as other platforms, but it does allow that professional atmosphere where the news feed and the comments and posts are going to be much more relevant to an individual's professional search. So again, just like Facebook, first a member needs to complete a member profile. And after they do that, again, InMail allows users to private discussion option for specific connections. And then using the introduction feature actually allows users to expand their network and broaden their base of connections. So also consider that many organizations can form associations and or groups which allow a large connection of individuals. And again, as that member would create that member profile, most useful features are groups and answers. And again, the answer piece is almost a groupthink, or it's almost a crowdsourcing piece to, create business leads or create ideas to a solution, resolve business problems. So it's a very nice piece for again that professional atmosphere. And then finally, again, having many contacts on its own will not generate new business leads. So, one of the biggest advantages to something such as LinkedIn is not only do you have your own connections, which are first connections, but you can also see their network of people, so second and third. So, it not only connects you to, again, maybe an individual within the business, but it could connect you and create that network to a C level individual, such as a CEO or a CFO, for purchasing purchases or even marketing the service or idea. So, a white label social network. So, a white label social network is an online service that shares many, if not most, of the characteristics of a public social networking site like Facebook, with the key difference being the white label is privately run by a corporation or a nonprofit corporation. So, the key of a white label is to promote the goal of an organization. Again, you're going to see this much more with nonprofit agencies such as maybe Goodwill or the Salvation Army or perhaps like a cancer research institute. So to touch on this a little bit more, so the pros and cons of this. So the pros of it with again a white label social network is that you're able to integrate it into a company website. You're able to customize it, you're able to have real-time chat, status updates, reminders. You're even able to have usage statistics to actually know if people are actually visiting and using your white label network. And again, the core value of this is building relationships. Some of the cons or the challenges with this is again administrator, time and costs. So time is required to not only stimulate and start conversations, but also maintain them. And you have to be careful it doesn't just become a ghost town. So again, with not a public forum for individuals, but rather a private, again, without the constant starting and maintaining of conversations, it could easily become a ghost town. So the future of social networks. Again, within the future of this, again, Facebook dominates today, but there are so many niche social markets, or excuse me, social networks that have survived and thrived. A couple of those is, again, one that has a passion for knitting, all right, Ravelry. Again, my own car show for hot rod and antique car enthusiasts. So again, this isn't going to be your millions and millions of users and subscribers, but it's going to be much more for a very specific um, market of individual, which creates that competitive atmosphere. Again, it illustrates the power of specificity in an audience selection and why that target audience is so important with regards to a really a product or service and or a social networking site. So some of the best practices, just to review, again for again social media platform marketing. Number one is to develop a clear objective. So just like with any of our other discussions that we've had through chapters 1, 2, and 3, we always have to have a goal and a strategy. We need to understand what our roadmap is. And again, understand the monitor metrics. So we need to understand what we're monitoring, why we're monitoring. Is it likes? Is it tweets? Is it comments? Is it shares? Whatever it might be, we need to have a goal in place and understand exactly what we need to monitor to achieve that goal. And then number three, we need to know our audience. So again, as in chapter 3, when we talked about with our target audience, we need to know where our audience hangs out, what our audience likes, what their interests are, what their behaviors are to really develop a platform that is specific to exactly what their needs are. And then we need to communicate with our audience in the most appropriate way. So we need to understand the jargon. We need to understand, again, the rules. We need to understand what they want to hear, how they want to hear it. Do we need to, does it need to be text? Does it need to be video? Maybe it needs to be still photos. Whatever it might be, we need to understand what that most appropriate way is in mind. And then number five, we need to keep search in mind. So outside of our social media platform, we need to also understand the Googles and the Yahoos of the world. We need to understand that, again, when an individual, even though Facebook is one of your most popular sites, again, Google is the most popular website. So with regards to search. So again, when someone searches a topic or service or product, where do we end up at? So again, that goes back into the SEO, that search engine optimization. So that, along with a very strong presence on social media marketing, will help allow a product or service thrive and have success. Thank you.